Hello everyone. How is everyone doing today? It is me, New York vocalist Benita Charles, for another episode of Singing Tips. Hope everyone's having a good evening. It's a little late for me, but I said, you know what? Let me come on anyway. Hopefully somebody's up. Oh, I see someone's up. Hey, how are you? Welcome to Singing Tips. Happy holidays. It's the holiday season now. We are full-fledged in the holiday season. I hope everything's going well. Hi, Big Mike. How are you? Thanks so much for coming in. I'm going to wave at you. And what's going on? You're up. You're still up. Well, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Benita Charles. For those of you who don't know, every week I come on and I give singing tips to beginner singers. Also, a lot of the tips that I give are universal tips, so it can apply to any business or anyone, any profession. But I do have a singing tips elevator pitch that I will give to you right now. So Singing Tips Live is an artist development teaching program to enable music artists to take control of their careers. This weekly show on Facebook Live allows artists to learn the show part, that's everything in front of the stage, as well as the business part, everything behind the scenes. And this is called the process. So by learning the process, artists will ensure their success. And since this show started in 2016, Singing Tips Live has attracted people from all walks of life because many of the tips are universal and can be applied to any profession. Hi, I see Shay is here. Hey, Shay, thanks so much for coming in. Shirley, oh, hi, how are you? Thanks so much for coming in. Lady Sash, I really appreciate that. So thanks so much for coming in. So this is a special singing tips because this was inspired by what I saw Spotify for Artists has been doing. So they've been highlighting various artists, and they've been, oh, hi, Gordon, thanks so much for coming in. They've been asking different celebrities what was the best advice they ever got, or they've ever gotten. And hi, how are you? Thanks so much, Mike, for coming in. So I thought I'm going to do my own take on it because, you know, I've gotten some really great advice through the years that's helped me, and hopefully it can help you. So I have several things that I listed, and I was trying to go through the list, like what is the most important thing out of all the advice that I've ever gotten, or all the things that I've observed. So I picked the top three. So if you want me to go from 3 to 1 or 1 to 3, let me know. If you want me to go to the best to the not, you know, to the least, or the least to the best, which order would you like for me to go? So if you want me to go from the best 2, 3 to 1, 2, 3, or 3, 2, 1. So let me know what I'd be interested in knowing what you guys would be interested in. And I do have some honorable mention things as well. So if you want me to go from number 1, number 2, number 3, give me a 1. If you want me to go from 3 to 1, give me a 2. Oh, you want to hear the best advice first? Okay. So for me, and I actually did a show on this, the best advice that I ever got was to create my own music. And when I first came to New York some years ago, I was singing jazz and I was doing cover songs, and I met a gentleman. Oh, hi, Renee. Thanks so much for coming in. I met a gentleman who was doing music. The group was called All About Chad. I don't think they're around anymore. But he said to me, he said, you know, it's nice you're learning all these songs. He said, but you need to do your own music. And at the time, I didn't really understand the gravity of what all that meant, so I kind of pushed it aside. But some years later, that's exactly what I did. I started writing my own music and performing my own music. And a few things that came out of that I think was important. So the first thing was it allowed me to express myself and put, like, even when I sang cover songs, I was able to put my own spin on it. I was able to be more creative because I learned how to find my own voice. I learned how to find write my own music. And also, it came from the heart. So when I sing now, any song that I sing, whether it's my song or a cover song, I'm able to learn it, but then I can put my own spin on it, and I feel like it's helped me be a better artist. Another thing that when you do your own music, you can touch so many people with your message. Like you never know, like a song you put out, you never know who will love that song, or it could become a huge hit. That's another thing, you can make a lot of money. Because when I was a beginner singer and I was just like getting gigs and everything, that's great, you can make a lot of money. But when you're a recording artist, you have the potential to really if you make it big, you have the potential to really make a lot more money. So that's another reason why it's really good to write your own music and put out your own music. But that was I think out of all the things that people said to me, I think that's one of the most important things. And regardless if you're an artist or whatever you're doing, like any profession that you're in, you should create your own product, or like for instance, if you're a chef, you should create your own spices, or there's people who do that, or they have a cookbook. I don't know. You know what I'm getting at. I'm losing my pages. You know what I'm getting at. I just think that it's important to create your own. Oh, I see. Hello there. You know you're live, right? You saw that? I just got photobombed. Oh, okay. Oh, yes, you agree. And I know you create your own music too, Lady Sash. Everyone, this is Lady Sash. She creates her own instrumental music. You can put your link in, Lady Sash, because here in Singing Tips, we are promotion friendly. So if you want to, put your website, that's great. But yeah, so I think that's the number one advice that I got. That was the best advice that I ever got. So a couple of honorable mentions. Number 2, keep it simple. So when I would record, I would have various producers tell me, even my latest producer, Themi. Oh, great. So even my latest producer, Themi, a lot of times I try to do all this fancy stuff of vocals and all that, and a lot of times it didn't sound all that great. But you're welcome. Oh, hi, Mary. Thanks so much for coming in. And he would tell me, or you know what he would do? He would let me do it, and then we listen back. And then he said, try it again, and this time, don't add all that stuff. Just sing it like, And it would sound so much better when we would just keep it simple. So that was another, I think, great lesson. And is sometimes you can overdo something. It's the simpler, the better. And then the other advice that I thought was really great, and I did a show on this as well. One of my vocalist friends, Sahira, she said to learn a cover song as is. And in that instance, like, you can sing with any band, or you can get a gig, any gig where if you don't rehearse with that band, if you know the song like the record, you can just fit right in. So I thought that was really good advice, and that's good advice if you want to be in a cover band or you want a gig. So that was good advice for that. Keep it simple was good advice for recording, and the best advice I ever gotten was to create your own music. And whatever you're trying to do, because here on Singing Tips, we do have a lot of people who aren't singers that like the show, and I do like to address things to people who aren't musicians, and that tip can apply to any profession. Whatever you're trying to do, it's best to create your own service or your own product, and grow from there. And you could create an empire, your legacy, from your own product. So I thought, that's the advice that was great, the best advice I ever got, and I think that that's something that you could take away with, because you never know from what you create what could, who you can touch, who you can reach. You just never know. I just think that it is always good to create your own. So that was the best advice I ever got. Some other honorable mentions. One person told me to take control when you're singing with a band. Make sure you're in control when you're leading, that you lead the band and you let them know what you're trying to do. I thought that was good advice. Learn the keys to songs. That's another great advice. Use percussion instruments. If you're a vocalist, have percussion instruments, because you can add that element to the band. But to me, like I said, the best advice was to write your own music. Create your own music. That was gold. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. It's a short singing tips because I know it's late for you guys. Thanks so much for all the new people who've come in. If you don't know what this is, what I'm doing, or who I am, my name is Benita Charles, and every week I come in and I give singing tips, life tips, business tips to beginner singers initially, but it has really transpired into anyone who has a dream, a goal, a business. A lot of the tips that I share are universal tips that can apply to any business. And this week, it was inspired by Spotify for Artists. It's the Spotify. Oh, I do? Okay. But yeah, it was inspired by Spotify for Artists. They have this, it's their Twitter account, and they would tweet out a snippet little video of all the different stars, and they would talk about the best advice they ever got. And I thought that was such a great idea. So I said, you know what, I'm going to do that with singing tips, because one of the ones that I like was Mary J. Blige, and she said that the best advice she had gotten was from Shaka Khan, and she told her to get out of her own way and just, sing and just find her voice and just do it. Yeah, if you follow them on Twitter, they have it's different, various artists. I saw, I shared Mary J. Blige, Christina Aguilera, and what's the lady name? She's really great. Sheryl Crow. She had really good advice too. So, and I thought that was such an ingenious idea. So I said, you know what? I'm going to do that with singing tips, because through the years I've gotten really great advice from people, but to me the best advice was from an artist. And I don't think this group is when I looked them up, it looked like they weren't together anymore. It was called All About Chad, and I can't even tell you where I met him. I just remember he gave me his CD, and he said to me, it's great that you're learning these songs or whatever. He said, but you should do your own music. And he gave me his CD, and it's kind of rock. It's kind of rock music. It was an interesting CD. Had some interesting creative songs, but it just stayed with me. And I never forgot it. And I'm so glad that, and how it happened with me in terms of writing. So after I met him, I did a one-woman show. Oh, hi, thanks so much for coming in. After I met him, oh, hi, Sybil. Hi, darling, how are you? So after I met him, I did a one-woman show here in New York called Moments in Love. And, oh, hey. And with that show, I did covers, but it was all about being in love, and I did all these different covers. And then I started writing my own music, and then I did original music, and that's kind of how it happened. But I just thought that was the best advice that anyone could have ever given me. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Well, I hope so. I just feel like, you know what, you have to share your knowledge and share what you know, and you never know, someone else could use it. If you guys have any tips, if you want to share, even right now, if you want to share the best advice you've ever gotten, please share. I think that's a great thing, and we would like to know. So if anyone, oh, thank you, darling, thank you. So if anyone right now, before we close, would like to share, oh, hi, Lisa, hey, girl. Anyone would like to share the best. Oh, so Lady Sash is on here. She is a musician as well. So Lady Sash, can you share with us the best advice you've ever gotten? I would be interested to know. Shay is here. She's a writer. She has a book out, The House That Jack Built. So Shay, if you want to put in your link as well, that's great. Hi, Tyrone. Thanks so much for coming in. So right now we're sharing the best advice we've ever gotten. So if anyone here would like to share the best advice they've ever gotten, that would be great, because maybe it's something we could use. So I just shared mine, which was to write your own music, and how you can apply that at whatever profession you're in. Just create your own product or your own service, even if you work for someone else. Hi, darling. So happy holidays. So right now we're sharing the best advice okay, so I heard the same thing about creating your own music, but how do you really get it into the hands of those who can get your music to the next level? Well, one of the things that people have been doing now, hi, Bobby, thanks so much for coming in. So one of the things that people have been doing now is they've been releasing it themselves and putting it out on YouTube and SoundCloud, Spotify, and sometimes you can attract people to come to you. So that's one way that's been pretty effective, that you get enough views, you get enough people interested, you can attract people to come to you about your music. I've watched a lot of videos too. There's a gentleman, I'm sorry, I can't think of his name, but I'll try to put the link in later. He's a young gentleman. He started connecting with people on Spotify, and he has courses and different things, and he talks about how you can get Spotify views. But one of the things that he did was he connected with influencers, people who had like a large following, and he was able to get a lot of Spotify. I don't know what they call it with Spotify, but listeners, or he was able to get streamings or playlists. He was able to get, and he also got into other people's playlists, and he does so well on Spotify. But one of the things that you could do is you can go to YouTube, and you can type some type of how-to in, and that'll come up, because I was looking for something else, and I happened to see I think I was looking for, what happened was with Spotify for artists, what I was telling you guys. I have all my music, gospel music and instrumental out many social media sites, and I am definitely trying to live stream more, so people, that is the biggest thing, is live streaming, Periscope, Instagram, Facebook, and even YouTube. That's one of the that's more effective than just putting something on YouTube, because you can attract so many people from just all over the world, especially Periscope. Like here on Facebook, if you're looking at the lighting is a little weird, because this is the Luminaires light show here at Brookfield. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's beautiful. They have the different lights, and they turn colors. So right now it's red, so that's why it looks like that. But it's different. It's so pretty. And then they have earlier in the day they have holiday music on and everything. But live streaming is, oh, hi Lenora, thanks so much for coming in. Live streaming is one of the things that really surpasses, I think, in a lot of ways, YouTube, because although YouTube is still number one, but you reach so many different people. Like, you just never know who's coming in or and people share your video, so you never know like who will see it even on the replay. Even here on Facebook, there's the replay. People who haven't seen you live will see your replay. So that is one way. Another thing you could do is you could go on Twitter and you can try to connect with some of the influencers on Twitter, because Twitter is awesome. I love Twitter. I know some people don't like Twitter, but I get a lot of reach on Twitter. But you can reach out to people on Twitter, direct message them. That's another way of reaching people. But you know what? Like I said, just putting yourself out there. You're out there. I know you're out there in a lot of different social media streams, and just keep at it, because and the live streaming is the best though, because you just never know. That's why you just have to keep doing it. You just have to keep putting yourself out there, because you just never know who. If you tweet something, and let's say, yes, Periscope is so good. You've been broadcasting, right? Since you've been broadcasting more, Twitter is great. I mean, so many people on Twitter, and it's the reach is. I can tweet something out, and I get more reach on Twitter than I do on Facebook. It's just really, really great. And for an artist, the more you tweet, the more the reach you got. But just like I tweeted last 2 weeks ago, there was a young lady that was missing, and I tweeted that out, and people shared it. I think it had like over 20,000 impressions, and 100 and something people tweeted it out. So Twitter is amazing. Like, you just never know. It was just so beautiful to see that many people care and share it, and was really concerned. So it was awesome. It just showed the power of Twitter. Like, out of because I posted it on all of my social media, out of all of the social media platforms, it gave the most reach for that. So it really was incredible. So so that's really cool. But yes, so that's my advice the best advice that I ever got, and that's create your own music. For you, whatever you're trying to do, create your own product or service, and you will find your audience, because everybody is not for everybody, but you will find the right people for you. So Lady Sash had a request that I sing something. So I was like, okay, let me get a swig here. Apple juice, that is. So I just thought, since it's the holiday season, I have an original Christmas song that I plan to release soon, but I'll give you a little taste of it. Christmas time is a special time. Christmas time is here. Christmas time is a joyous time. It's my favorite time of the year. Oh, Christmas time is a special time. Christmas time is here. Christmas time is a joyous time. It's my favorite time of the year. People are smiling, children are laughing, a spirit of giving is in the air. People are sharing and caring each other. It's a joyous time of the year. Whoa, Christmas time is a special time. Christmas time is here. Oh yeah, Christmas time is a joyous time. It's my favorite time of the year. It's my favorite time of the year. It's my favorite time of the year. happy holidays to you all. I hope we're in the swing of the season. I hope it's wonderful and joyous to you all. To you and your family, I hope it's phenomenal. Spread some love, spread some kindness. It's all about love and kindness and joy. Thank you so much for joining me for Singing Tips. Oh, I do want to mention, I just checked my video count. My video views on YouTube for Never Ever Give Up is now at 1,203 views. Thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you so much for your support of Singing Tips. I'll see you next week. Hope you're getting a lot of shopping in. Hope you're enjoying the season. Thanks so much for coming in. All the new people, thanks so much for joining me on Singing Tips. I hope that you were able to get some value out of it. And I will see you next time on Singing Tips.